show from Common Room Radio. I'm Sarah Kate Bazant.
And I'm Elizabeth Stevens.
And welcome to Disney Villain Deathmatch.
Dun, 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 dun.
The second to last episode.
We are really getting there.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
up to the super villains now.
Yeah, basically,
Villainous
yes.
Maximus.
I really liked that.
Thank you. I said it with a sneer, too.
Yeah. It was a villainous sneer, so, it totally works. Continuing our tradition this week, we have a very special guest with us on tonight. Do you want to introduce yourself, Lily?
I would love to. Hello, I'm Lily Marsh.
It's so good to have you back, Lily.
Hi.
I'm so excited. I've missed the old recording studio.
Right? It's been a while. Been a fat minute,
It
as
has
they
been a
say.
fat minute.
What did I tell you about body shaming those minutes? What did the minutes do to you?
I forgot.
You're right.
I'm sorry. It's been
Listen,
a long minute.
Body positivity.
That's right.
Body positive minutes. So Lily, when we have people here on the show, we have them talk to us about their experience with Disney. And this is going to be really interesting because you are our target demographic for these movies.
A little older now, I think.
little older now, yeah.
When we did Disney Princess Deathmatch, it was closer because you were like, what, 10, 11 then? Yeah. But now you're definitely 12 going on 16.
Only 16? I'm offended.
Well,
kidding, love you.
A very cynical and mature 16.
I'm the poster child for like angsty teenagers. It's
Basically, yes, but we
But
still
not
love
so
you.
much Disney movies.
Right, yeah.
so much
Disney
movies.
villains, though.
Disney
Maybe
villains.
This really is
I'm
your
completely
area.
on board. Yes, sign me up.
Okay, so tell us, Lily, a little bit about Disney and what it means to you and your experience with it. I mean, I feel like we all have our Disney stories of like,
That's
oh my
true.
God, Disney movies. So yeah, you're 20 years behind us. So what's that like?
Oh, well, it definitely means something very different to me now than it did like when I was like 3. Because, I mean, I have pictures of me like at Disney World, like sitting on my dad's shoulders with the giant massive curls that
I
like
miss
engulfed
those.
my head.
They were so darling. She was the cutest kid ever.
Basically, yes.
No, I had like Shirley Temple curls and
Yes.
it was
Yeah, it was
amazing.
great.
It was amazing. So I'm just like sitting there 3 in like this bell dress from like the Disney store when the Disney store was still around, which my God, someone please bring back the Disney store.
It's in the outlet mall.
What?
Yeah.
It's in the outlet.
Whoa.
We'll take you. When you've been a very good girl.
I remember whenever I would go to my dad's, we would take like weekly trips to the Disney store and he would buy me like little plush toys and like
Yeah.
occasionally if I was very, very good, I would get like a new dress or like some shoes or something.
I've always been so sad that I was too big for any of those outfits.
Oh, did they
story.
start them after? Or you mean now?
Yeah, no, I mean now. Yeah.
I was like, you were such a little kid, though.
No, I was basically a beanpole. I was a literal like green bean with arms and legs. It was weird.
But now I can actually like now I'm like analyzing storylines and stuff, so I'm just over here like, whoa. Yeah. Also, how BA everyone looks like all the time, at least the villains.
The villains,
like,
I was going to say, because you're an artist
super
too. You do a
BA.
lot of drawing and a lot of, okay, you don't have to give me, look, maybe you're not an artiste, but.
Now, are you making art?
yes.
Then you're an artist.
It's
Okay.
true. So you draw, you illustrate. So that was one of the things I was looking forward to talking to you about is the illustrations and the different, the way that the designs change from film to film, and particularly the way that a villain, the second you see them, looks like a villain and why that is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, excellent. So are we ready to do this thing?
I think we are.
Excellent. Okay, so this week we are doing Maleficent from the Sleeping Beauty and Scar from the Lion King. I'm very excited.
This is going to be a really cool one because, again, they're such different villains that it's hard to say where it's going to go. But they're two very iconic villains, which is my jam.
Yep.
I really like the iconic Disney standard villains.
I think me too. Yeah, I think that we've known that like since from the start. There was an agenda. It was rigged the whole time.
Syndrome. I don't care how many people
Horn
you killed.
King. Who even
Syndrome.
is that?
Going into this, like before I had like rewatched everything, I was like, oh yeah, Maleficent for sure. But then I rewatched the movies and I was like, no, I relate to Scar on a spiritual level. So
Yeah, Lily, you remember that time that you took over an entire kingdom and murdered your sibling? Yeah, that was a cool day.
those were the good old days.
All right, so let's get started. Let's talk about our first impressions. Let's start with Maleficent, since you mentioned her first. So, Lily, what are your first impressions of Maleficent?
Yes, Queen.
Right? No, I think that's very solid. Yes, I was going to say, but what really precedes Maleficent, and this I wanted to talk about because you just said that you thought that she was going to win for sure, because what precedes Maleficent is like the legend of Maleficent, right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think that I don't know. I think that she's one of, we're here now, like in the semifinals, quarterfinals, like very, very close to like actual finals. We really are down to like our most iconic Disney villains. I mean, last episode we had Ursula and Jafar. This episode we've got Maleficent and Scar. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. But yeah, I mean, I think that whenever you think about Disney villain, you're going to think of one of those four, really.
And I think that is what it comes down to, right? Just that she is queen of the villains before we even did the show. She just kind of is.
Yeah.
No, if someone like comes up to me and just like Disney villain, the first thing that's gonna pop into my head is, oh yeah, Maleficent. Like, for real, can we just talk about her cheekbones for a second though? Like,
Yes.
Let's.
you could cut yourself on her friggin' cheekbones.
Yes.
And this is animated. Like,
Yes. And the great black horns.
oh yeah.
Her
Yeah.
cloak with
Yes.
it's almost like wings, and I love the color scheme, the kind of greens and purples and
greens.
black. It's
For
this
sure,
very
yeah.
like
I just want
classic
to walk
Halloween.
around and there just be like a trail of like that green fire behind me and me just like
Yeah.
look into
Green
people's
fire
eyes just
is
like
really legit. Which Scar actually also does get as well during Be Prepared. There's like a lot of like
True.
green
Yes.
smoke and
Yeah.
flame coming up in the elephant graveyard with all the hyenas. So
Very true.
yeah, I guess like green smoky aesthetic is the way to go for like a good villain.
And remember
Yeah,
the way
dude.
she's like stroking the bird as
Yes.
she's talking, that perfect. Oh,
yeah.
she's so, yes, queen is exactly right. Yes,
yes.
queen.
That's excellent.
excuse you. Not
so
only
happy.
yes queen, yas queen.
Yes.
Caleb would be very
Got
proud of me.
it. Got it. Caleb would be proud. Caleb is proud, I'm sure.
So let's talk about Scar really quick. What are your first impressions of Scar?
Just yes all around. Oh my god, he's like, okay, so just compared to like Mufasa and everything, he's all like scrawny, but like in a like a creepy way. Like I've got chills and like the animation. So like when he moves, I'm just like, yo, Jesus,
He's
don't mess with
really
this guy.
slick.
Yeah, he like prowls.
Yeah, no, he really does prowl. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I mean, needless to say, the scar itself is like yes, just
So
yes.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's very
it's
cool.
very well done.
And I like because of course he's the brother to Mufasa. And Mufasa is so snuggly for like, also majestic,
Right.
But snuggly in a way
like
that's for
Aslan,
absolutely
right?
not.
Like,
Sure.
yeah. Yeah. No, he's dangerous, but also is good.
Yes, absolutely dangerous but good.
I think that can be said for one of us at this table. I'm not pointing fingers or anything, but I'm pretty cool.
Is it me? I think it's me. Dangerous, but good.
Oh, but I like that that there is something akin to a family resemblance there.
Yeah.
Even though they're so different looking, it's very good egg, bad egg for sure.
Yes. Oh,
so
yeah.
shallow end of the gene pool, as it were.
Oh, can we talk about like just the sarcasm for a second?
Oh yeah, that's
The
your love
snark?
language.
Oh my god. Listen. I'm bilingual. I speak English and fluent sarcasm.
Oh, boy.
It's a joy.
Now we see where you got it. Excellent. I also really love Scar's color scheme as well. You just get that like his mane's basically black, and you get that dark red, like dusky coat, and just the color schemes on both of these villains is very, very good.
Can make
And
a very handsome throw rug.
which he did in the movie Hercules.
Yeah.
Such a great inside joke. God.
It's very nice. Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Were you going to say something more about his sarcasm and his snark?
Yes. Okay, like I said, I went into this, I was like, oh yeah, Maleficent though. But then he says, I don't remember what he says, but it's like that first scene and I'm just over here like, oh, ooh, sarcasm make me a happy child.
He is the worst. Gosh. And Mufasa's trying to have like a civilized adult conversation
Yeah.
with him. And he just will not do it.
Right,
He's
absolutely.
so pissed off about that baby boy. Which
Yeah.
it's a baby.
He's a baby.
Right?
He was never going to be the king anyway. That's what you get for being the second son born in a monarchy. I mean, it's a monarchy.
There's only one of them. It's not a duarchy.
Exactly. That's not even a thing.
I feel bad for having made that very bad joke.
Nope.
No,
I
I'm
feel
into
like
it.
when Lily's on the show, it's required that I make a mom joke.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just like
Is
totally
it?
lose all my street cred. I'm
Yep.
sorry. I apologize.
You had street cred to begin with?
She absolutely did. Excuse you.
Yes. I have a podcast. Hello.
I'm sorry.
She met Zach McGowan. Where have you been?
I did.
Shall I whip out the pictures with Chloe Bennett where she pointed at my homemade little shield badge? Shall I?
That's true. That's true. You
That's
got to meet
true.
Chloe
You did
Bennett.
meet Chloe Bennett.
Yep.
Yep.
I did.
I got my picture taken with Jewel State one time. Anyway, we've all got street cred, is what I'm saying.
Kevin Bacon.
So let's talk about our villains' motivations. Let's go back to Maleficent really quick. So what was Maleficent's deal, Lily? Like, what is Maleficent's whole, like, situation?
Well, she's jealous because, I mean, she's obviously jealous. Because, like, even when you look at her, you can tell she's...
Green with envy?
Get out.
Okay. Bye.
This really is all about just missing a party invitation. Just being ticked about not being invited to this party.
Yeah,
For the
I think
baby.
so. Yep.
Yep.
Which I suppose, to be fair, was a sign of deep disrespect because
True.
it's not just that she wasn't invited, oh, we don't want her here. It's that she sees herself as a person of status within
Right.
the kingdom, and that's taken from her when she's not invited to this special event within
Exactly.
the kingdom. So I get that a little bit more than just,
I'm just saying, if you
Wanting
put
to
this
go.
into, like, a modern day, like, real world thing, and you're just... And someone's like...
I'm having trouble doing that, but yes.
Exactly, because someone's... If, like, I don't know, we throw, like, a party, and then we, like, don't invite, like... Emily or something, she's not gonna be like,
But Emily also not an evil fairy queen, to be fair.
I mean,
We quite like
no
Emily.
judgment, so we don't know her. We don't know her life.
Emily, if you're an evil villain, you have to tell us or else it's entrapment.
Well, no, the next time we don't invite her to a party.
Oh, yeah, I
she shows up
suppose
and
so.
curses Lily.
Right.
And we're like, oh, turns out.
But yeah, so Princess Aurora is born, Maleficent doesn't get invited, she shows up, curses the baby, and yeah, I think that we've talked about this a couple of times before, where it really is just kind of this, like, vindictive pettiness.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. The best credit that we can give her is that it was a deep disrespect.
Oh, for sure, yeah. You at least, like, send the invite, right? She may have said no.
Just try to schedule it for a day she knows
Right.
she's busy. She works on Saturdays, right?
So what about Scar? What are Scar's motivations? Why is he so villainous and evil?
He's just kind of all over the place. I mean, like, I understand. No, you've got that typical, like, oh, I want to take over everything.
Like, he wants the throne. He wants the
He does.
kingdom. He
Oh,
wants
he
everything
does.
the light touches.
Yes, even the shadowy place.
Even the shadowy place over there. Yes.
True. He's not picky. I mean, you take what you can get.
Right?
And he took it all.
He took
He
everything.
made it all that shadowy place.
Yeah, woof.
God.
He was a very bad ruler, it turned out, which I guess makes him a good villain. But yeah, so Scar's whole deal is that his brother is king and his brother has a son and Scar wants to be king and wants to get rid of his brother and his nephew.
And we'll kill them both to do it.
Yes.
That is seriously dastardly deeds.
Dude. And, like, at the end, I got so... Spoilers? Are we allowed to
Oh,
spoil?
no.
Oh,
There's no
yeah, no, these
spoilers.
movies
No
are all
spoilers.
like 20
Yep.
years old.
Yep.
Okay,
You got it.
making sure. Yeah, okay. But at the end where he goes, we're family, I'm just like, were you thinking about that before you...
When
it's
you murdered
convenient.
your brother?
Well, and with the emotional manipulation of Simba, too.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about that, making him feel that it was his fault and
Yes.
shaming him, which you guys know how I feel about shaming people.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's dastardly.
He's very dastardly. Completely agree. So let's move on. We're going to talk about their layers really quick. This is always fun. We always enjoy talking about Maleficent's lair. So
Maleficent's lair is
let's
amazing.
visit it one more time. Let's talk about Maleficent's lair.
I honestly, I wish we would have seen more of her.
Uh-huh.
I know, is that weird?
No.
I just kind of want, I was about to say I want, like, an entire movie about Maleficent, but they did that.
They did that. No one wanted
and
it,
It was
turns
bad.
No, it was very bad. No offense to my girl Angelina Jolie. You're great. Also, cheekbones to kill. Anyway.
Great casting.
Just saying, yes, exactly. Like, honestly, if we were doing this project at school and they were like, what's your dream, like, home or whatever?
You thought Maleficent.
You thought Maleficent's castle?
No, I wish I would have thought Maleficent's castle. I'm just sitting here now and I watched it today and I was like, no, that is where I want to live. Someone place me in this imaginary world.
Full
I'm
of
living.
skulls and bones and cobwebs and various demons.
I love all of the sculptures that are in the castle, especially all of the gargoyles.
Yes.
Are so cool.
Dude.
There is a warmth to King Stefan's castle. There's all the bright colors. There's that sense, even when you don't see them, and sometimes you do, but even when you don't, there's the sense of like the stained glass windows and the gorgeous tapestries. Like there's something comforting and homelike about it. And you see her castle, which seems to be
extreme
built
contrast.
Yeah. And it's like the same. They're both built of the stone, the same kind of gray stone, but there's no warmth. There's no color. There's no light. It's all just fire and shadow and crumbling around.
I don't
the
even think she
edges.
has like a rug.
No.
Like,
She has a fire pit.
Yeah, that's it.
That is it. A fire pit and a portcullis, like the gate. The thing.
That's a portcullis.
Yep,
Nailed it.
Man. It's a great space, though. I agree. It's a fantastic castle. It was reminiscent of the Horn King's place.
That's right.
Just
Yeah, no,
like
she just moved right in. Yeah, they may exist in the same universe. Who knows?
Who knows?
But let's talk about Scar's lair. Initially, we first just see him in one of the caves up on Pride Rock, just kind of hanging out in there playing with his food.
Right.
And then later, he ends up taking over all of Pride Rock. And also, I think that we talked about this before. We count the elephant graveyard as kind of his lair.
I think the elephant graveyard
because he
counts as his
hangs
lair.
out there. So what did you think
that's
about like
his power seat? If
Basically,
you will.
yes.
It's where he has his big dance number.
That's true. Yeah. So what did you think of all that,
I'm
Lily?
just saying, if I had a chance to like crawl around like all creepy on like some giant like rib cages, sign me up. I'm in. I'm 100% there. Like anytime.
Every time we pass a cemetery these days, she's like, "It's my favorite place." We tried to tell Corbin, that's my 4-year-old, that there were dead people. Like she tried to. I didn't, because you don't tell a 4-year-old
No,
that.
you see, we were sitting in the car, and he goes, "Why are all those flowers sticking out of the ground?" And I go, "Well, you see, Corbin, that's where all the dead people go." And he goes,
God, I wish you had
just-
said that's where all the dead people live. You really missed an opportunity.
That's where all the dead people live. So,
He was very, nuh-uh, no, it isn't.
Yeah,
You're so
so I had
funny.
to
I'm like,
explain to
actually,
him
that's a
about-
hard thing to explain.
That is, yeah.
I go-
So people die, and then we throw them in the ground in
there
boxes
are dead
lined with
people
silk
under the
and
ground,
pillows.
Corbin.
Very respectful. It's very respectful, though.
Sure, yeah,
Very.
yeah.
Yes, so
America,
the Elephant
we respect
Graveyard,
our dead.
also one of the most fun levels to play on the Sega game.
We talk about this every time, and I love that it happens.
Well, it was. There was lots of fun rocking and rolling and sliding down.
sure, absolutely,
spines.
right.
What
So-
game?
Sega Genesis was a video game in the 90s.
Well, the Sega
In
Genesis
90s.
was a console, and you
Okay,
played the
all right, a
Lion King
console, a
video game on the console.
And I played Lion King on it. And despite what Sarah thinks, I did beat that game. She thinks it's unbeatable, but it's not, because I know I won it. I know. No one doubts me. I hate this.
No, I don't doubt you anymore.
I don't
no, I
doubt
believe
you.
I really enjoy Scar's lair. I like the elephant graveyard. I like how creepy it is. I mean, there are so many bones. There are tons of bones there. I've never seen a real elephant graveyard. I don't even think like in photos or anything. So I have no idea of like the scale of those things.
They go to the same place. I forgot about that.
Yep,
Yeah.
they absolutely will go and find their legit graveyard where all the rest of their families have died and then die there. And nobody really knows why. I don't know
That's
how
so
they know this.
fascinating. Yeah,
yeah,
no,
no,
I forgot
elephants are
about
crazy.
Yeah, I researched a study on that where like they have like an attraction to like they can tell like if like something's like
Yeah, it's like
ivory
magnets or
like-
something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, why do salmon keep going back to the same place where they were born? Why do birds know to go where they go whenever they're like just born and they don't really communicate? I don't know. It's wild. Nature is
Yes.
crazy. Nature is scary.
Amazing.
It is also amazing. But yeah, I love the be prepared sequence is just so good when they're in that like giant chasm and you
Yeah.
get all of the smoke coming up and the music is absolutely phenomenal.
It is a great number.
it's a
an
really good number.
Excellent villains number. Maleficent doesn't have a song and dance
That's
at all,
true.
which I feel there isn't a category for that, so it doesn't count against her, but it
Right.
kind of counts.
Yeah, I mean,
against
it's
her.
like secret bonus
little
points.
bit.
Yes.
Since it is a obviously completely subjective show.
Right, yes, yep. The rules are made up, the points don't matter.
Right.
So, Lily, which do you prefer? Do you think that you prefer Maleficent's castle, or do you think you prefer, like, the elephant graveyard and, like, all of that aesthetic that Scar's got going on?
Could we like combine them together?
No, you have to pick one or the other. That's sort of the
Because
point.
it's a death match. No, you cannot.
Nerds.
You can call a draw too if you want to.
That's also fair.
No, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do it right. Elephant Graveyard. Sorry, but
Yeah,
like
Elephant
I
Graveyard.
like
Okay.
yeah.
I thought you were gonna go with Maleficent's Castle. I think that I would have. I
You
really like
see,
Maleficent's
I'm
Castle.
like that would be I don't know. I feel like that's kind of more your thing than my thing because like your thing you'd be all like regal evil, and I'm just over here like, hi. I've been watching you from the shadows.
Fair. Like I want my castle on the hill, surrounded by thorns, swirly clouds above.
Very different aesthetics, but I'm into it. Yeah, it's very, very good. So let's talk about their minions really quick. So Maleficent has a cadre of weird demon monsters, and Scar has...
And the Raven.
And the Raven.
Crow, Raven.
I don't
Bird.
actually know.
I want to say it's a raven
bird.
because it sounds better. It's like more aesthetically pleasing.
Crows are bigger though, right? It's
I
a
think
really
that crows...
big bird.
Yeah, crows are like the size of parrots.
Right. Anyway, her bird. Yes.
Anyway, her bird.
is
Yeah,
really...
so cadre of weird demon monsters and bird, and then Scar has all of the hyenas. So let's talk about Maleficent first. I mean, we're just keeping her first in the order this whole time. So yeah, let's chat about her completely dumb, idiotic, totally useless cadre of demon monsters, and then also her bird, who's actually pretty good.
Oh gosh, I was watching it today and it made me so mad. I'm just like, I remember this being cooler. Also, if someone tells me that there's going to be an army of demon monsters, like I'm normally in, but this is disappointing.
Yeah, they were more like
Like-
little snorty piggy.
They are, and
Yeah.
I
They're like
hated every
imps,
second of
maybe?
it.
Maybe
Imps?
like imps and gnomes
Yeah.
and things, and not quite like,
Imps is a good word for what they
yeah,
are, I
demonic heck beasts.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I expected more from her. She's still a queen,
Right?
But I mean,
She could do better.
she deserves better. She's that kind of villain. She's
I like that.
Yeah. There you
No,
go.
I
I'm just-
completely agree.
I'm just saying, for all the, like the badassery that she
Possesses.
there you go.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
and
say-
she has poise.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
definitely. She could do so much better.
Yeah. Her bird is good, though. I mean, the demons didn't even... They spent 16 years looking for a baby. They're very dumb.
they're dumbos.
They're really, really dumb.
Real dumb.
But the crow or raven or what have you, rook perhaps, who even knows?
Rook.
Yeah. Her rook was at least, very helpful, very diligent, did exactly what she wanted, was obviously very, very intelligent, very malicious.
And
so
did find the princess. in
yes,
this, too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the hyenas. We've got like the whole tribe, group, herd. What do you call a group of hyenas? Is it a cackle of hyenas? It
no
should be
idea.
if
We're
it's
gonna go
not.
with that, a cackle of hyenas.
Yeah, we're
we've
gonna go
got a
with the
whole
cackle of hyenas.
No.
And then we've got the main three: Shenzi, Bonsai, and Ed.
Yes.
Yes.
So let's talk about them really quick.
I relate to Ed on a spiritual level.
Oh yeah,
I love those hyenas.
they're so good.
funny.
Yes.
Oh gosh, yes. Obviously, I am 100% with the hyenas here. Like, yes. I'm just saying, if someone was like, hey, you can have an army of these weird pig monsters, or hey, you could have an army of frigging hyenas, I'd be like,
Yeah.
hyenas, count me in, sign me up. Yes.
They are much better. Like no matter how you look
They
at it, I
are.
think they are more competent. They
Yes.
do get well. They start the stampede, so that's a win. Which
Yep.
kills Mufasa,
Yes.
also a win. They do not actually. Well, not a win.
Villain,
Sorry,
win. Sorry,
Yeah,
that
a
was-
win for the villain. Lily gave me a look. No, I'm not happy Mufasa is dead. It's not
Well,
that
I mean,
kind
like
of a win.
we're doing
Mufasa,
Disney
Mufasa,
villain
Mufasa.
deathmatch, so we're talking from the villain's POV. So yes, a win for the villains.
Yes. And they stopped chasing. They didn't kill him.
Yeah.
But they really couldn't. They couldn't get through those thorns.
Yeah, there was no
as
way
he
they were
did.
gonna be able to
Their
get to Simba.
mistake was in line
Yes.
and or letting Scar assume that they had in fact killed him.
Right.
When really they just chased him off. They should have
Right.
said, couldn't get to him, chased him off, and then Scar would have known that he could come back at some point. So,
Right, exactly. And then
Not
later
perfect.
and later on we see that they completely destroy Pride Rock and
they
the
do.
Pride Lands. I mean, they
Yeah.
just they mess it up. They suck out all of the color out of everything. They change the weather patterns somehow with their villainy and
disrupt
destroy
the circle of life.
They disrupt the circle of life and destroy the entire savannah.
Yes.
It's very bad. Even for them was bad because eventually they were running out of food. But I mean, they did bad.
Then they eat their master.
Yes,
then
they
they
do.
eat Scar. So
Yep.
I never know. That's points against Scar's minions,
I
right?
think so. Yeah, if they turn on him in the end,
Yes.
then it's
That's
kind
points
of
against you.
right. Yeah.
I mean, it's
to
not
be
like
fair-
you're gonna be attacked by your own minions and be like, "Hey, good job, dude."
Right.
Right.
Nice.
Well,
I'm proud of you.
Scar threw them
Contact
under the
HR,
bus.
give you a raise.
Yeah. But Scar threw them under the bus, and
no,
he
he
tried to
did.
blame everything on them and
Yeah,
tried to
he
get
super
Simba
did.
to turn against them, and they were just like, we don't actually need this, or
Nope.
you, it turns out.
Cowardly, gross villain. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on. We're going to talk about the means to these villains' ends. So we're going to talk about what were these villains willing to do to accomplish their goal. Once again, let's start with Maleficent. She was willing to curse an infant child and then later murder a 16-year-old?
That is true.
She
Although
initially
she did
was
it quite
going...
passively most of the time.
She really did.
She did the curse and then just walked away. Mm-hmm.
And the curse
she
was
never-
to kill her. It wasn't to put her to sleep. That got changed
true.
by one of the good fairies. So
And not only to kill her, but to kill her 16 years later after everyone had grown to love her.
Yeah.
And like right when her life was beginning. That's really
That's
messed up.
real cruel.
It's
Yeah.
very cruel. She did not do any of the searching for the princess.
no.
She was very passive in that aspect. She just kind of sat
She
there
really was. She was
stroking
kind
the
of passive basically until like the 16th year rolled around when she was like, oh, wait, I got to make sure that this kid dies.
bird. I'll do this myself. Touch the spindle. That's such a great part.
It's so good. Yeah.
Just like sets a reminder. Oh, wait, yeah, sorry, we gotta do that thing today.
Everybody stop what you're doing. We got to go kill a princess. And Scar, let's see, willing to murder his brother and did murder his brother and made it look like an accident. So he's really smart, very cunning. Was willing to murder his nephew, didn't actually follow through on that one because left it to the hyenas. Again,
That's
they
true.
chased him like through the like thorny barrier or whatever, and he runs off and finds Timon and Pumbaa. But yeah, no, I think that Scar was very active in a lot of these things, and
Yes.
most of these things. I think the only time that he wasn't active is after he had taken over Pride Rock and had the hyenas going around. I mean, he had, obviously, the lionesses were going and getting the food for him, but then I think that he was using the hyenas, like, to bully people. Although, I mean, he straight up slapped Sarabi in the face, so I don't know, maybe he's not nearly as passive as Maleficent.
He is not as passive as Maleficent, and he allows. I mean, Maleficent was going to kill the one girl. He was going to let every animal starve to death and
Yeah.
absolutely not care.
Yeah.
As long as he was comfortable and taken care of, as long as he had enough to eat, he absolutely didn't care. So I would say that he was that he put more. I wouldn't even say that he put more on the line, but that he was willing to go further than
I think
Maleficent
so.
would. That he wanted more ill than Maleficent did.
Right. Yeah. Maleficent wasn't trying to like destroy the entire kingdom or whatever.
No.
Just wanted to kill one girl and screw. I mean, like obviously that's bad.
It's
like
still
it's
bad.
not. It's
Still
still bad.
Hey, and listen, killing tons and tons of animals is worse than killing one girl.
Well, if the animals are
Sentient.
They're intelligent.
I looked at Sarah. That word, Sarah. Sentient. Yep, that one. Yes, I would agree.
In
Yeah.
The Lion King, the animals are basically people.
Needs of many, needs of the few, etc.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good point.
So
Good point.
overall, Scar, greater means to his end, I suppose.
Yes.
More intense means to his end.
Meaner means.
Meaner means. Worser means.
That made me laugh. I'm sorry.
No, that was really good. You don't have to apologize for that.
pretty good,
It was a
yeah.
good joke. I liked it. Okay, so let's move on to how our villains bit it. How were they vanquished? How were they
Right.
defeated? How did they die? We have two villains who died this week. Great, excellent, perfect.
they
All right,
did
let's talk
actually
about
die.
They actually
Yes.
did die. They have left this mortal coil.
Right.
They are no more.
Vinton tried to make an argument that Maleficent might be alive because all we saw was like the smoten black stain upon the earth where she used to be. Mm-hmm. I would say that smoten black stain signifies her death.
Yes.
So
We love you, Vinton. We're so glad that you're on the show.
Yes.
You are wrong, though.
You might be wrong about this one thing, says we three. Okay, so yes, two dead villains. How did they die? How awesome and epic was it? How much did they deserve it?
Yes.
How much was it satisfying as an
Yes.
audience member?
Maleficent for the win. Yes. I
You
mean,
think so?
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
as far as that, we see her as this like epic dragon.
Which is so cool.
First of
So
all,
good.
Gosh,
how
it's
cool
awesome.
is that?
Very
But then,
cool.
I mean, she's like terrorized like this poor girl, and this prince for like no reason is just like, you know what? She doesn't deserve that. Stabby, stabby. And I'm just like, listen, she deserved it. I'm sorry, but like she did. And I don't know why it was so satisfying as an audience member, but I'm just like, you know what? I would have stabbed the dragon too. Stab the dragon.
That's what you do to
I call
dragons.
it.
Basically, yes.
the whole shooting the sword into her heart.
Yes.
The way that the fairies come alongside him. The fairies do everything.
The fairies do everything. Prince Philip did basically nothing, whatever.
Fine. But yeah, the way it shoots across, and she makes that great noise. Remember, there's like this howl of pain that also sounds almost like the lightning and the thunder. So it's just this totally magical animal noise, which is very cool. She falls down to her death, and then there's just like this black smoky, like you dropped a firecracker went off or whatever there, and
she explodes into nothingness pretty much.
And the sword is just kind of like sticking out of the ground. And there's this sense of finality and just that evil has been vanquished. I think
I think that's like, when you think about like evil being vanquished, I mean, you can't get more like archetypal than a dragon being stabbed by a magic sword. Like
exactly.
that's
exactly
the ultimate, right?
It is. I was going to say, it has a very classic fairy tale, which of course it is. The Sleeping Beauty is such a classic fairy tale, but that makes the ending just, I think, resonate. God, however many years later it is.
For sure,
movie, 40 years, something like. I'm just making up numbers now, but it's been a long time, and it still feels right. I mean, sometimes you watch the ends of these movies or any of these older films, and you think you couldn't do that today. This isn't how we tell stories anymore. But that's not true of Sleeping Beauty. When you get to the end of this and you see Maleficent's death and the celebration that follows, it still feels just and right.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
But on the other hand, Scar's death was pretty cool too.
Gosh, it really was.
Scar gets thrown off a cliff by his nephew into a pile of flaming brambles.
Right.
And then is eaten alive by his own minions.
Which is a really good way to go.
It's
as a villain.
As a villain,
bad
yes,
way to
again,
go. But again, immensely satisfying.
It is,
like,
yes. And
hoisted
you feel
on your own petard, sir.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, he was. And
if I'm gonna go down, it's gonna be eaten by a bunch of hyenas.
I mean, that's one way to go. I want to go in my sleep, maybe.
That's
not as cool, I guess.
To hear as a mother.
Quite all right. No more trips to the zoo for you.
Woof. But yeah, we see, after he had again tried to throw the hyenas under the bus and tried to blame everything on them, they're just like, we don't really cotton to that, actually. Right. And so they've been hungry for forever because Scar was super bad at resource management while he was king of the Pride Lands.
Yes, definitely so.
So yeah, giant dragon being vanquished by a magical sword versus literally being eaten alive by your own minions. They're both really good.
They're on different, they're on different sides because this isn't that same like fairy tale ending at all.
Right.
It's very, very condemning.
Yes.
And very visceral. But
yes.
God, remember how gorgeous that scene was too, with the epic music and the fight and slow motion.
Yeah, and like the ashes and the embers flying everywhere. Yeah,
so
it's really great.
Beautiful.
Yes. Very intense. Very, very epic. Is there an ending that do you prefer one of these deaths over the other, Lily?
Definitely, and I think Mom knows which one. Just knowing me as a human being.
Well, you've said both, so I think that you're flip-flopping everywhere.
Well, you see, no, just being the dark little ravenclaw that I am, Scar.
The Scar one, really?
Gosh, because that sense of irony.
Yeah, it's very good.
You messed with me. You're gonna regret that. You let my people starve. We're gonna eat you alive. We're not starving no more.
Fair. I think that I would have to go with Maleficent's death, actually, because I like this idea that it is like the most fairy tale ending you can possibly get.
Yeah. I think for me too, that Maleficent's death is something that, and also just when so much of that movie kind of bled together in my memory from being a kid.
Right.
That part you remember.
Oh yeah. I don't remember any of this movie except the end.
Yeah. Yes. Like you remember that. So I do think that I would have to go with that one just as far as iconic moments.
Sure.
But it is immensely satisfying, you're right, to see Scar's death.
Definitely.
So let's go through these again just like super duper quick before we get to our final category. So first impressions, who do we think makes a better first impression, Maleficent or Scar?
Maleficent.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Maleficent's
excellent.
Very regal.
Yeah, no, she's so regal. Yes, queen. No,
yes,
absolutely. Motivations, who do we like better? Whose motivations are better?
Scars,
definitely. Yeah, you can't murder people when you don't get invited to parties, even if it is 16 years later.
You ruined my entire plans for this evening. How
I'm
dare
so
you?
sorry, Lily. What about layers? Maleficent, right? I mean, that castle's pretty cool.
Lily went with Elephant Graveyard, but I think I have to.
Graveyard. Yeah, sorry.
Oh gosh, this is a hard one. I think I might go Elephant Graveyard too. Actually,
Excellent.
Yeah, I think I might.
Good.
It was just more layered. It was there was something really awesome about it.
Oh yeah. Well, and plus you get the whole song and dance number in there, which just
I can't break it away from the song.
Absolutely. Minions, the hyenas. Definitely, absolutely.
Oh man, Scar's looking good.
Yeah, means to their end. Who did? I mean, Scar again, right? Scar was willing to do more and also accomplish more.
Absolutely.
And then so we had 2 for Maleficent's death and 1 for Scar's death. So it's time for the deathmatch part. And this is going to be really interesting.
This is, okay, because of course Maleficent is magical.
Yes.
However,
and Scar is
the extent
a
of
lion.
Yes. A lot of it I think depends. I think that Scar could take her because he's so quick and so smart.
I think so too.
Her magic is very powerful, but it
Yes.
takes a certain amount of concentration, of focus to when she changed into the dragon, when she did the curse, like there's a certain amount of focus and concentration, and even is her staff is like magical too, right?
I think so. And also, I mean, like, it takes time to transform into a dragon. Like,
does.
Yeah.
I really think that if Scar just immediately jumps straight for the throat, that's the end of Maleficent, that she's done.
And we know that he's pretty quick. I mean,
very quick.
He's a literal, actual lion.
And if her magic is at all dependent on that staff, I completely believe that Scar would get that staff from her.
For sure.
First.
Definitely.
For sure. Just for kicks and giggles, if it was like Maleficent's imp minions versus the hyenas would totally win, right?
Hyenas would dominate them.
They
Yes.
would.
All
Yes.
right.
It would be feasting day. Yes.
They'd be very pleased. Yeah. I think I feel pretty good about that. I know that we've argued in the past about like, oh, well, this person has literal actual magic, but I mean,
Right.
I think you're right. I think if we've got them in there, Scar just needs to get in there and then like rip her throat out pretty quick, which he know that he's willing to do.
Certainly so.
got
it
really
would all
dark.
be
I'm
about
into it.
catching her off guard. And she has that kind of presence. I feel like she would be doing the diva thing.
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
think she would be as quick as he would. I really think that he would.
She's got a flair for
outwin
the
her.
dramatic, right? Like
Right,
she would want to
yeah.
like take the she would be monologuing
She would totally be monologuing.
while Scar just
dare
went in
to
for
come
the kill.
here to me. Oh
Yes.
God, I'm dead. Yes. By the end.
Yeah, no, I feel really good about that.
I mean, I love her.
No, absolutely.
her.
Yeah. This is unprecedented. If you had asked me at the top of this episode so we think that Scar wins?
Oh, I think so. I think that
I
we made it
definitely
pretty
think
clear
Scar
tonight.
wins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
we
the
feel good
win.
about
Pretty
that?
clear winner. Yeah.
Okay, so if you had asked me at the top of this episode who was going to win, I was definitely going to say Maleficent, if only
really?
because I was super excited for Maleficent v. Jafar in our
Right.
final championship
There is
round.
already a song about Maleficent versus Jafar because the DVDM crowd got so excited about it. So
Yeah.
Becca Eller has already done it. So it's there and you should find it.
And it exists, and it's very, very good.
Yes,
Yes.
we'll retweet it as Common Room Radio. I've retweeted it myself personally.
Right.
So we'll make sure that we do that so y'all can see it and share along.
That's right.
And it's Chainsmokers, which makes me pretty happy. So
So here in this round, Scar wins, which means that
Okay.
in our final championship
I have to
round,
say, I do not feel bad about that. I mean,
It
I
is-
love
neither do
Maleficent.
I.
Yeah.
I do. But story wise, and I think he's iconic and
Yes.
he's charismatic.
Yeah.
And I don't feel bad at all about him being the one moving forward.
So, in our final championship round, that means that we have Jafar from the movie Aladdin versus Scar from the movie The Lion King.
This is going to be great.
It's going to be very good.
It's going to be great.
Oh,
We're
it's
gonna
gonna be
figure out how
so
to do that
interesting. Yeah.
Episode. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We're going to figure out a way to really kind of up the ante for these guys.
For
since
sure,
it's the
absolutely.
ultimate end
Yes.
game.
And I think that we had talked about we were going to have a Twitter poll that had like our final 4
Yes.
contestants so that we can talk about who the fan favorite was.
Absolutely.
So in that final poll, we'll put that up soon as Common Room Radio. We will have Jafar and Ursula and Maleficent and Scar.
Yes.
And we're going to see what you guys think. And we're going to
Yeah.
talk about that. And
We absolutely will talk about that on the next episode.
It's going to be really, really great. I'm super duper excited for that. Lily, thank you so much for being on the show with us this week.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are great.
Thank
You're
you.
great.
It's a good time.
It was a good time. So, so in 2 weeks, we're going to be back with the final championship round of Disney Villain Deathmatch, and we're going to find out who is the ultimate Disney villain.
This is amazing. I'm so thrilled.
I'm really, I can't believe that it's the end. I'm very, very excited. And we would not be able to do this show if it weren't for the support of our our amazing patrons. If you want to help us do shows like this, more stuff like this, and help us continue to do the shows that we're doing right now, head on over to patreon.com/Common Room Radio, where you can kick us $1 a month or whatever you can afford. All kinds of great things over there. You get a postcard for being our patron. You get access to like gag reels and all kinds of exclusive Patreon live shows and all these things. It's really, really totally awesome. Super worth it. You can talk to us on Twitter. You can talk about this show using the hashtag DVDM. You can find us on Twitter at Common Room Cast. You can find me at Elsa Grab the Salt.
I'm at Lisbeth Ray 555.
I'm at Gnomes in a Coat.
That's right.
It's such a good handle. I love it so
good.
much.
Very good.
But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us this week. So thank you guys so much for listening. Lily, again, thank you for being on the show. And once again, from Common Room Radio, I'm Sarah K. Bazant.
And I'm Elizabeth Stevens.
Bye.